When Chunk the dog ended up at a shelter, she wasn't happy. Well, her life on the streets had ended, but with no home to call her own, her future was still uncertain. However, when Mike Thawley, the man who saved her, showed up, the little pup couldn't hide her joy. Thawley's a firefighter with the Sacramento Fire Department in California. As such, it's his job to try and help people in all manner of emergency incidents, which is heroic in and of itself. However, in 2016, Thawley became a hero of another kind. It all began when the firefighter was attending an incident with his crew. As they drove to the scene, something troubling caught Thawley's eye. By the side of the road was a tied-up dog, and the canine in question didn't look like it was in a good way at all. Given that lives had been threatened, Thawley and his crew had little choice but to continue to the emergency they were attending. However, they didn't forget about the poor mutt and returned to her aid once they'd completed their job. When Thawley and the other firefighters arrived at the scene, they found the little dog shivering in an icy downpour. To make matters worse, she'd practically no hair to keep her warm or dry. Instead, she was covered in painful scabs. Consequently, the firefighters couldn't find it in their hearts to leave the dog alone. So they released her from the tree she was tied to, scooped her up, and took her to their fire station. Once there, they gave her a bath before arranging her onward journey. They decided they'd take the dog, later named Chunk, to Sacramento's Front Street Animal Shelter. The government-run shelter takes in the city's stray cats and dogs and strives to have as many animals adopted as possible. As a result, it was deemed Chunk's best chance at a fresh start. However, after dropping the dog off at the shelter, Thawley simply couldn't get Chunk out of his mind. So he decided that he'd go and see the pup the very next day. That way she'd get to see a familiar face and perhaps realize that someone was looking out for her. Luckily for us, their moving reunion was captured on camera. In the resulting footage, Chunk saunters slowly out of her cage, stopping when she meets Thawley's feet. At first, she appears slightly sheepish, but when the firefighter indulges her with a scratch behind her ears, she soon warms up. Eventually, it seems that Chunk remembers Thawley and the part he played in rescuing her from the streets. Her tail begins to wag enthusiastically. Then she jumps up onto the firefighter's lap as if to get even closer to her hero. Later on in the video, Chunk and Thawley enjoy yet more time together. The firefighter holds the dog, now dressed in a purple sweater, in his arms as she attempts to coat his face in sloppy kisses. He doesn't seem to mind the dog's advances and even returns the favor by planting a peck on the pooch's head. The bond between the pair was clear to see, and it had not been lost on Thawley himself. So he discussed things with his wife, Carla, and their trio of daughters, and they all agreed that they should look after Chunk while she recovered from a skin condition. But looking after Chunk would be no walk in the park. It had been determined that the dog's lesions had been caused by a type of mange, so the Thawley family would be responsible for her while she received the proper treatment for her condition. However, their task was made easier by the fact they were already completely smitten with Chunk. "We all kind of fell in love with her," Thawley told the Sacramento Bee in 2017, and it appeared that the feeling was totally mutual. In fact, Chunk and her new family got on so well that the Thawleys decided to officially adopt her. So now the pooch would never have to worry about being alone again. She had 5 new humans who would all dote on her. And with their love, Chunk soon transformed. Before long, her crusty, mangy skin had completely settled, allowing her shiny gray coat to thrive. Not only had the canine's fur changed, but she also appeared to look happier, and for that, she had Thawley to thank. Unsurprisingly, Chunk's story tugged at heartstrings when Front Street Animal Shelter posted a video about the pair to its Facebook page. Since going live in 2016, the moving footage has attracted 106,000 views and more than 5,000 reactions. After following Chunk's story, many viewers felt compelled to leave a comment below the video, and the vast majority of them praised Thawley and his family for allowing the little dog into their hearts as well as their home. Applauding Thawley, Susan Hubbard Hansen said, "What a wonderful and uplifting story. I've got tears in my eyes seeing this video and all the kindness, compassion, and love. Thank you for making me believe in heroes again." Meanwhile, Andrea Sitze wrote, "I wish there were more people like him. Most probably walked by that poor puppy, scared and alone, and never gave her a second glance." She added, "He's a true hero." And we're inclined to agree.